I really do think, Pablo, that we are in an age where we're a little bit numb to the unprecedented excellence that we're watching in basketball, and Wembanyama is going to change it all over again when he gets to the league. Put back dunks on his own missed threes.
The whole point of the season was that this was going to be an unprecedented tank fest for that guy. And it turned out that the basketball was so compelling and surprising that the teams we all thought would be just tanking were not. And that actually there are storylines about offensive inflation and skill level and the broad swath of talent that, that guy's been on the back burner. He's waiting, but he's on the back burner.
But I don't want to, in our zeal to jump from LeBron James to Wembanyama, to accept what Charles Barkley is now echoing that Reggie Miller said, which overlooks how excellent and unprecedented as a human being, as a specimen, Giannis Antetokounmpo is when Charles Barkley says this. It got me mad to hear him say this, and it got me angry to hear people around here agreeing with it because it's asinine.
I think Herro is a not going forward, but in this series, I think Herro is a bigger loss than Giannis.
Let's go to commercial. No, he's a bigger loss than Giannis.
No, but I'm saying
it's a big loss for Miami,
but I'm saying
commercial.
No, I'm talking about not going forward in the playoffs. I'm talking about for this series. Milwaukee got a much better chance of beating Miami without Giannis than Miami gonna beat them without Herro. Is my question.
Herro's an integral part. But the comparisons.
No, I'm not comparing them as players.
In this series.
I'm talking in this series. If Miami had Herro and the Bucks didn't have Giannis, they could win. They can't win without Herro, but the Milwaukee can beat them without Giannis, is my point.
That's courtesy TNT. Miami has the best three-point shooting in a week. It's only a week in the playoffs so far. They're shooting better than anybody. Jimmy Butler shooting threes like that is asinine as well. It's absurd, and I don't understand how it is that all of a sudden they're making all their threes.
I agree with what he said.
Are you out of
No,
your
but
mind?
the key is he says in this series, not moving forward. Bucks are still, that's a championship roster the Bucks have.
The Heat are up 2-1 without Herro.
I
literally
But they're up 2-1 without Herro.
You know what? I wish the series ended right now. It's not over.
I just feel like physiologically, I cannot abide by the argument that Tyler Herro is in any context, any possible context you can invent, let alone in this series,
just
more
being
indispensable.
white. That's where I would say he is whiter than Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's the only thing that I would say that what?
Giannis has a whiter name.
Better shooter.
The Bucks are a championship roster, ... with Giannis, right? Like you're saying, without Giannis, this roster is just like Chris Middleton is a good player, but this roster is like nothing without Giannis.
No, but what I mean is, you're right. Yeah, they're not winning a championship without Giannis. But without Giannis, this is still a very good team. They are.
The Miami Heat without Herro are up 2-1 against that very good team. Mm-hmm. They're up 2-1, and they dragged them in the last game.
Oh, they're going to drag them again tonight. You know what I'm talking about.
This game tonight is the rare. It's a house money game for the Heat, and it's a must-win. How can it be both? Because it feels like both to me right now. If they lose, they can't go 2-2. With Giannis coming back, I feel like the Heat have to win tonight.
I don't know that he's coming back. You know he's coming back. That dude is hurt.
Mike Ryan has been calling Milwaukee.
He's a phony.
Falta de respeto.
Oh, FDR.
Yes, that they are disrespecting the Heat because they're not playing Giannis because they know it's the Heat.
That's exactly why you're leading this series 2-1. I just want to ask you a question, knowing that it's just a sore back. Okay, is Giannis playing if this is the Celtics?
Yes. I think he's hurt. That's one of the toughest dudes in the league.
I'm inclined to believe that he's actually hurt.
He's hurt.
You don't think that they're taking the opportunity to rest them because of their opponent?
He's missed all 3 games. Like, he left game 1 after 11 minutes.
You don't think that? You don't think that if this were a more superior opponent, that Giannis would be toughing it out?
No, I think he's hurt.
Okay.
I think he's hurt.
All right.
Where are you guys, the rest of you? Because Zaz agreeing with this, and I just don't understand what we're talking about there. Because you can reasonably, not anymore, recreate or replace the Herro minutes with Oladipo. Now you've got a larger.
Duncan Robinson Robinson is playing again.
Yeah, that's my dog.
That is your dog?
So I was asking last week the question, where are we on Duncan Robinson, right? Because the whole pretext to him is that Spo fell out of love with him. He was this sort of find that embodied Heat culture and Heat scouting. And then he disappeared. He had a podcast. He apparently lost it, or maybe he still is doing a podcast. I don't know. But now he's back, and he's driving the lane. Duncan Robinson is driving the lane.
That's part of his game.
It was for the last year.
He has that in his
doing.
locker.
Last time in the bubble, he wasn't doing much of that.
But did you
he'll
see who
surprise
he
you.
was doing it against, though?
Not
Drew
Giannis.
Holiday.
Yeah, but he's not doing it against Giannis. But I don't get to
What
enjoy
are we
this.
doing?
Drew Holiday is Duncan Robinson doing anything involving athleticism against the best perimeter defender in the NBA, to me, is a giant development.
Pablo, Brook Lopez did the same thing. Caught the ball at the top of the key, gave a little shimmy shake, and took everybody to the rack. Like, what are we doing?
It's a weird series. But Jeremy, go ahead and take your victory lap because, I mean, let's go. In the iconic words of Jeremy Taché, you're up 2-1, and I think the Heat have to take this one tonight. Have to.
The Heat are in an unbelievable position because of everybody else who stepped up. And look, what Barkley said is crazy if you're comparing the players directly. The premise was, which is fair, the role players on Milwaukee are all so far superior to
all
what
he's
the
saying.
Heat role players were all season long that asking anybody to step up into that third player in the place of Tyler Herro would have been crazy, except for the fact that Duncan Robinson then went 5 of 6 from 3, that Kyle Lowry stepped up off the bench with 15 points, that Caleb Martin played well off the bench. Every single role player for this team stepped up, and they have the best player in the series. Jimmy Butler is the best player in the series, whether Giannis is healthy or not.
Wait a minute.
That's my dog, too, by
Wait
the
a
way.
minute.
30 points in 28 minutes a game.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Efficiently, 60% from the field.
I don't know where to start with some of what is happening here because, and this has been maddening to me for a long time, all right? Even if I were to grant you somehow that Tyler Herro is more valuable offensively than someone who's an MVP who plays offense like no one I've ever seen, even if I were to grant you that, why you guys neglect that the Heat are making threes like that, at least in part because Giannis isn't out there defensively, when Tyler Herro, until this year, has been a total liability defensively. Like, they just go after him again and again. The part of ignoring the other side of the court when Milwaukee is championship good defensively, when he is there helping Brook Lopez become a lead shot blocker because having him and Brook Lopez out there make it very difficult for the Jimmy Butlers, or even the Jimmy Butlers of the world. It's a
helps.
maddening comparison. I don't even understand why people are doing it.
But it's not a comparison of what their value is in the grand scheme of NBA basketball. It's in this series who can't be replaced. And the argument would be Duncan Robinson. No, Duncan Robinson. All right.
How is this territory available to be claimed in this argument that I would take Giannis in any context over? But even what Dan is saying is hitting on something that is frustrating to me, and this is about Joel Embiid as well. This is about people who are the best defenders in the NBA. Even the nerdiest analytics dorks, have not figured out a way to respect defense. The idea that Giannis spends 50% of the game being as good a defender as anybody this side of Joel Embiid gets written off. And it's like, I thought Heat culture was supposed to be uniquely respecting of that side of the court. And even Heat culture, even the Sloan Analytics Conference, nobody who says they love ways to measure this stuff actually is measuring this stuff.
I'll do it another way. There are legitimately 50 Tyler Herros in the league right now. There are 5 Giannis's ever. Ever!
You're totally right. It's, again, no one is comparing Tyler Herro and Giannis. The premise is, where do they sit on their respective teams and what is objectively been a bad roster for the Heat all season
Tyler's
long?
the third best player.
Players.
Who's the third best player on Milwaukee?
It doesn't make a difference.
Drew Holiday.
Right, Drew
It's
Holiday.
if they lost him. That'd be the comparison. I mean, I know he's really good at defense,
Right,
but
no,
I don't
but
know what we're
they
doing
lost
right
Giannis.
now.
They weren't also when he said that, and for now, they weren't losing Giannis for the entire series. The premise was in this series, Giannis is going to come back.
If you say in
Tyler
this
Herro
series
is
one more
gone.
time.
No, but that's how he prefaced it, right?
I mean,
It's
we're only
not the
talking about this
craziest
series.
take. Right. That's exactly
I
what
would
we're
take
talking about.
Giannis in a Tyler Herro impersonation contest. I don't care.
Zaz, it felt like we were getting dangerously close to bad news for Milwaukee.
Can I just ask one question real quick? Real quick. At about 10 p.m. tonight, how awesome is it going to be when the Heat are up 3-1? 10 p.m. 3-1. We're running around, okay? I'm running around, T-shirt, underwear, beer in hand, around the Zaslow Mansion family room.
We'll flood
Very
the streets
excited.
like the Knicks fans did.
Don't do it.
With actual water,
I'm
though.
looking through the glass. Do not do it.
Don't do what?
Don't do it.
Don't say bad news for
Don't
Milwaukee.
do what?
Don't do it.
You're saying,
Let's go!
you're saying even if we go up 3-1, don't do it.
The Bucks are 5.5-point favorite tonight, like they were the last time that they played the Heat.
Good.
The Heat again in the series so far. It's basically been very simple. The team making a ton of threes is the one that wins the game. I don't expect the Heat to keep shooting this way. I don't expect.
They were due all season.
Duncan 10 for 13. Well, he can keep that up.
They were due all season. Look, I know I don't get to enjoy this. That is my punishment for
Jimmy,
diminishing
4
Mike,
from
returns.
Mike
three,
having
not
to
holding up.
say Mike having to say you instead of us.
I
is-
don't get
is
to enjoy this.
conspicuous
In
and
my
sad.
defense, I didn't know that the best player in the world was going to get hurt. Overlooked that possibility.
He
but
were winning
here
when
we
he got
are.
hurt.
You mean when
He
Jimmy
were-
Butler
No,
got
they were up 8 in game 1.
Trying to ignore that.
Yeah.
Hang
He's not
banner
hurt.
Too.
Yeah.
Hang it right
But-
next to the Panthers winning the first period banner.
But I will say, as someone that's not going to get to enjoy this, how fun is Knicks Heat going to be in the next round?
See, that's what it's
Those
about.
jerseys need a fight strap.
That's what it's about.
It's going to be. You didn't want Mike. You prefer the Knicks. Not that this is one of the options. You prefer the Knicks because you've got a better chance of winning than the Sixers or the Celtics, who you also hate.
I think that just there's so many people. Jeremy doesn't remember the Knicks Heat series.
Exactly. This is 90s baby prime NBA nostalgia.
If the Knicks are truly back and they've already made Jalen Brunson better than Dwayne Wade, I told you it was just going to take 2 playoff wins. If the Knicks are truly back, then Heat Knicks has to be back with it.
Oh, my God. Come on, please.
Can we get Zoe? Can we get Jeff Van Gundy and Alonzo Mourning again? Please.
I don't want to be right, but I don't expect them to win tonight.
Thank you, Dan. Voice of reason.
his
Thank
mic
you,
off.
Dan.